Hi everyone, welcome to the Bliss Fish. Today I'm going to talk about time management. So I have laid down about 12 points. So let's just get started. The first one is to write down all the goals you want to achieve in your life. It can be n number of goals. Just sit down. It can come up to 40, 30, whatever it is. Just write down all goals in every area of your life, and then now it's time to actually see the ones that truly matter to you, the ones that you would like to give the most top priority to. So I would suggest that you have to select only a very few goals. So even though if you have to cut down from so many goals and just choose a very few ones that truly matter, and have all the ones you would like to give the top priority to. So I would say choose at least 3 of them, choose 3 goals that you would love to give your priority. For example, if you want to be an expert in yoga and that is your goal and you've given the topmost priority to that, then what you need to do is every day just sit down and do those practices. You don't need to be perfect in them, because initially of course you're starting off and your goal is to be at the advanced level of yoga. So what you need to do is enroll for classes if you want to, or there are so many videos on YouTube that you can keep practicing daily. The entire concept here is that you do it every single day, and when you're practicing every day you should make sure that nothing is distracting. For example, if you've decided to be an expert in yoga and you somehow see something, some different, or you hear from someone that someone is doing Pilates or someone is going to a gym, you sometimes get diverted. You just feel, maybe I'll go for gym, I'll sign up for a gym membership, or I will try to do yoga later in the day. Anything like giving reasons or just trying to postpone your activities. So it's just important that you have to do it every single day, and suddenly you might just feel your desire might change. You might just think that you want to do something different. But the important thing is that if your goal is something and what you're doing every single day is quite different from your goal, your butt up is not going to reach towards your aim, towards your goal. So if you've decided to give that thing as your top priority, then do that every single day. So even though some days you might not feel inspired to do it, but the point is that only doing, and you don't need to be perfect in it. You don't need to keep be perfection at every pose or everything at what you do, but your everyday actions are going to make you perfect towards it. So this can be done, this is a yoga example that I gave. This can be applied to any goal that you want to achieve in life. So you just have to decide what is that you want to achieve, and then go backward and just lay down step by step your path towards reaching it. So you can practice it every single day that way. So my second tip is to not keep slipping into the future, because very often we know our goal, we clearly know what we want. So let's just hold this example of yoga right now. Let's say you want to be an advanced in yoga, like I said before. You can't keep thinking about the future, oh yes, or this is the ideal thing, or this is the exact way I really want to be, in this posture, and I should easily be able to do the headstand. Yeah, that's all great. That's what your future is, you've decided to be. But you have to think backward, and you have to think, especially in the moment, what can you do right now to really get closer towards the goal. So focus right now on this moment and not on the past, how bad you were at doing a particular thing or how good you want to be. You have to just focus on the now, what you can do right now. So like I said, this is just a yoga example. You can apply it to anything. Only thing that you have to do is not focus anything on the future or anything backward. What you do right now, for example, I really want to grow this YouTube channel. So this is my goal, but I can't keep thinking about the numbers or the future goal. I have to just focus on this moment, that the communication that I'm having with you all. So this is important, so I don't have to keep thinking anything in future. So keep that in your mind. This is my second point. The third one is make a chart where you can actually, if you want to make a physical one, put it on a wall and to schedule it. You'll come to know exactly what you have to do, each day. So if you have about 3 goals, if you've done, see, it's up to you. If you want to have more goals, if you have more priorities, it's important that you can't have many priorities. You have to have a few priorities, so it becomes easy for you to do that stuff every single day. So let's say you put up a chart on the wall and you schedule your day every time, so you have time slots for everything. So that way you have everything laid down in front of your eyes. There's no question of you doing something else. So you just have to say, oh yes, today is scheduled for this and I'm supposed to do this, get over with it, and then that way it is much easier for you to every day do that and get closer towards your goal. So scheduling is wonderful. Have a timetable, have a chart laid down. You can use app. I personally use Google Calendar, and I always slot down time wise what I'm supposed to do today, tomorrow, what I'm supposed to complete in this week, and so on. So use a timetable and chart. That's again going to help you to have a control over your time, so you don't land up wasting time. So my 4th point is that do not waste too much of your time doing everything by yourself. So if you feel that if you can delegate that work to someone else, you can tell somebody else to do that for you, and you can focus on the ones that is something important. That way you will not be wasting your time. So since you already know what your top priorities are, so you know exactly what to focus on, and the moment you think there are other things that you need to get done as well, but they are not your top priority, that way you can shift it and tell somebody else to do it. You can tell, whether it's your co-worker or anything, your family members who can really help you towards this, is just tell them that, I cannot do this, so you can delegate that work towards them, so they can help you to achieve that, even though if it's, not that top priority for you. So that way you only focus on the things that truly matter to you. So yeah, just get into the habit of delegation. Hand over the work to someone else who can also might do it much better than you, and you specifically do not need to put your time and energy into it. So my 4th point is set a deadline, and this is important even for me, because I often think there's a lot of time and it's okay, and like everybody knows, time is something that doesn't come back, so you cannot really take time for advantage. So the basic thing is that once you start putting deadlines for every job, every work that you want to accomplish for the day, accomplish for the week, the moment you start setting deadlines, you are more likely to achieve it. So if I've decided to shoot a video for a day and upload it today itself, I know the work that I have to do today itself, so I know my deadline, I know when the work needs to be done, the time before. So yes, it's going to help you to save a lot of time, and actually more than saving time, it's going to help you to accomplish your goals quicker, because you actually know your deadline. My 5th point is stop the habit of multitasking. So if sometimes we think that we can do 3-4 things at a time, or let's say 3-4 is a little exaggeration, but say we can do at least 2 things in that moment. So actually what we're doing is dividing our work and dividing our focus, and even the quality of work that we'll get at the end is going to be, it's not going to be as good if you would have just focused on doing one thing. So yeah, do not get into the habit of doing a lot of stuff at one time. So multitasking will definitely not help. See, if you know your priorities, if you know what your goal is, if you really know what you really want in life, it really helps you in that moment to know exactly what you want to do. So there's no question of doing 3-4 things at a time. So once you know, yeah, this is it and this is my priority, you are bound to do just that for that moment, So there's no question of multitasking here. So my 6th point is that you should, once you know your goals, like I said, you have to plan backwards. Once you know all the steps, in achieving towards your goal, you have to just sit down, write it down, like how am I really going to go achieve that goal, So for example, let's just go back again to the yoga example. For example, you want to be amazing at yoga, you have to write down everything that you can do towards getting better at it, whether can you include more of meditation in your day, can you join more classes, or can you read some more books on yoga. Just see everything and see how you can schedule that into your everyday life, so yeah, that way you can actually get really better by going backward. Once you know your goal, just go lay down the step by step towards reaching towards the goal. So yeah, write down your steps towards getting close towards your goal. My 7th point is that we need to focus on our priorities. Like I said before, we need to be more clear on what we really want. We can have n number of goals, but if we don't know which goal is the most important and the one that needs the most attention, it's very hard to do what we need to do every day. So yes, what we need to do is write down the 3 priorities. For me, I always feel it's important to minimize the number of goals and only focus on the high level important goals. So I have chosen 3 priorities, 3 goals that I need to give my most attention to. It can be different for you. If you feel that you can incorporate about 5 goals, the ones that you really think are important, then yeah, you can do it according to you. So yeah, but the entire point is just focus on a very few goals that you can really give your 100% to. So there's no point in taking so many of them and trying to accomplish and not even focusing on a single one. So yeah, just choose the ones that you can give the most priority to. So my 8th point is that we give the time that is the most productive time. So we have to see this according to ourselves. For me, I always feel that the morning time, I also feel the night time is a very productive time, but I cannot deprive myself of sleep. So I see those times where I am the most productive. I've realized from morning to afternoon I'm really good at work. So choose a time that you're most productive at, so you really give your 100% to whichever goal you've chose to work on. So make sure you choose the time that is the most productive according to you. So my number 9 and number 10 tips are that we need to know the prime time. Like I said before, you need to know the work time that you're really productive at. That is your prime time, and the one that you aren't really productive is the non-prime time. So let's just frame it this way: prime time and non-prime time. And in your prime time, you can just get in everything that you want to do. Like you want to watch TV, you want to go out, you want to do anything that is not really productive or not really helping towards reaching your goal. You can do all that towards at the non-prime time. So yes, just get sure of your prime time and non-prime time, and then schedule your work and schedule all that you want to do in your life in the prime and non-prime time zone. My 11th point is that we put our phone onto airplane mode, so we can avoid all those notifications, especially in our prime time where we are focusing on our work. So no notification, no interaction with anybody, whether you're in the office. Make sure that you work in an area where you're not disturbed by your colleagues. Even if you are planning to do your work in the house, make sure you tell your family members that you're not disturbed, that you aren't disturbed for any other reason apart from work. Even if it's work, it can be into your non-prime time work. So and also you can choose areas like work places where you can work from outside, like places like library or co-working places, where you get your where you can put your full attention only on your work. Also, you have to learn to say a lot of no to people, because we are too used to getting carried away and saying yes, and forgetting what we have to do in the moment and just getting carried away. So you have to often learn to say no to people, so you can only focus on your work. So my last point, that is the 12th point, is that we try to get perfection into work. For me, I want to get things perfect before I start, So don't be in that illusion that, only when it is perfect, only when everything is working, I will, get started with it. So you just have to understand that perfection does not come when you start, you're going to be bad at it, or things might not just work the way you want. But perfection comes when you often keep doing something. So don't seek perfection when you're doing the work. the entire point is that you keep doing the work. So normally we might just ignore what we want to do at that moment by saying at later time, a later date, when things are perfect, I will get I will get started with it. So this is an important thing, because that's how we often delay the time, and the time slips from our hands. So it's important that we don't focus our attention on perfection and only focus on getting the work done. So it's like it said, done is much better than perfect. So I don't know who said that, but it really makes sense. Stop focusing too much on perfection and focus on the things that really matter, and important is just get it done. So thank you so much. These are all my tips on how to help you really get the most out of your time and really manage your time. The entire concept here is not managing the time, because you're actually managing yourself and your way of thinking. So yeah, I hope these points have really helped, and I hope you'll come back with my next video, which is going to be soon uploaded again. Yeah, thank you so much. Bye bye.